TNA wrestling crosses that road to Bound Glory, and my guest at this time has pretty much been there, seen it, and done it all in TNA, and it's the self-proclaimed king of TNA. It's Mr. Frankie Kazarian. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Frankie. I'm good. But look, before we even get to Victory Road, before we get Bound for Glory, we have a live impact going on tomorrow again. And I know you've been around the business for many, many years, but does these live impacts, are they still special to you now, even though you've done a load of them in the past?
Yeah, anytime with pro wrestling, you're in a live environment where, the people there experiencing it live at the same time the people watching it at home are live. There's just a different energy, there's a different vibe with the fans and with the wrestlers and the crew. Pro wrestling, I think at its core and at its best was built as a live business, a live entertainment business. And we certainly as wrestlers feel that energy. And I just think everybody is kind of just on another level when things are live and as opposed to a taped show. So yeah, just the energy being there is something that only gets shared that one night for those couple hours between the wrestlers and the fans, and it's pretty cool, pretty special to be part of.
Yeah, definitely so. And look, obviously, Victory Road in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. 2025 seems to be the year where wrestling has gone really global in general. We've seen a lot more of these shows going ahead in other countries. Is that where it's going now? Do you think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this as the years go on?
I mean, I really hope so. As an entertainer and a wrestler myself, I enjoy. Look, my career has been in the United States, but I've very much enjoyed all the stuff I've been able to do internationally, whether it be in the, you know, in the UK and all the amazing places there are in Europe and Japan and Australia and Mexico and Canada, certainly. So as a wrestler, and as a wrestler, particularly with TNA, I want to take this company all over the world. We've always had an amazing fan base in Europe, specifically in the UK and in England and Scotland, and I definitely want to get back there. But yeah, look at I want to. What we're doing right now is really cool, and I want the whole world to see it live if possible. So I hope that's where we're trending, and that's where we're going as TNA wrestling.
Yeah, I certainly hope, especially I'd be a bit biased, but obviously I'd love to come back to the UK for obvious reasons. But that brings me to a next point, which is, of course, TNA Plus. Now, in the world now where everything is all streamed, TNA really did kind of get ahead of the curve a little while ago by bringing that on. But the importance of that is people like myself at the moment, while the distribution deals are being sorted out over the continent, really, we now get to see TNA weekly on that TNA Plus app. It must be a good thing for the wrestlers as well, just to be able to know that you're literally a button press away on a phone for watching you guys in action week in, week out.
Yeah, it's great to have. And look at, Access TV has been a great partner for us, but
Mm.
truth be told, they're only in so many homes. So a lot of people don't have access to watch our television show, but the TNA Plus app has really kind of like solved that issue. And yeah, for me, it's very cool to go back and watch any one of my matches, or an upcoming opponent's match, or just even like the really cool shows that we're producing now, like the immersed shows that that have been on the TNA Plus app this year are incredible and really profiles some of our wrestlers in a way that hasn't been done before. So that app is, I dare say, one of the best pro wrestling apps out there, maybe the best.
I would agree. I've got it myself, and everyone else that hasn't got it should get that downloaded and get subscribed. There's different packages available. If you just want to stream Impact on a weekly basis, you can do that. My recommendation, I believe it's still called the Championship Package. It gives you everything, including Bow for Glory, Victory Road, and the archive stuff when you had a bit more hair back in those days as well. But
Longer hair. It's certainly had longer hair. Yeah, yeah. That's I'm too lazy of a person to maintain that type of hairstyle these days.
you're talking to someone that's had this hair for many
Yeah,
years. For that
right,
very reason,
right.
very, very, very
Yeah.
true in that sense. But look, back to TNA, Bound for Glory. Do you know your Bound for Glory record?
I couldn't tell you I've documented all my matches that I've ever had, but like off the top of my head, I could not tell you.
2-6.
Oof. That's not very good. Not very good. Yeah.
Your first win was 2022 at Bound for Glory, quite recent.
Speedball, Mike
It was.
Bailey.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay.
That
And
was
then I guess the gauntlet last year was Bound for Glory as well. Wow. So I was 0 for 6 before that. Oof.
yeah, yeah,
Got to
2 and
climb
6.
out of the basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Pick up some more wins this year. Sure, but look,
Oh
Bound for
yeah.
Glory is pretty much a distance Slammiversary. Really is the TNA's two sort of mainstay events or two of the special ones. Every time and every year we always say the same thing. This is the biggest. This is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. 2025 really does feel like it's going to be the biggest Bound for Glory for TNA.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. You know, this year in general, uh, continuing to break attendance records, just trending upwards in every measurable metric. It's been a great year for TNA, specifically when it comes to our live attendance, especially for the big ticket events like Rebellion in Los Angeles was awesome, especially for me being a SoCal guy. This past summer, UBS Arena in New York was incredible for us. And Bound for Glory, I think, is going to prove to be just as big, if not bigger.
Yeah, it's going to be. It is definitely an exciting time for TNA. For the last couple of years, I mean, obviously we've been covering it on the channel since 2023, and it's been the upward trajectory. It quietly went about its business, but now it really feels like it's making those noises now. Do you feel that yourself, that you kind of went under the radar for a couple of years, but you're now sort of at that point where the noise is being heard as it should be?
Absolutely. I mean, when I came back initially in the summer of 2022, before I was even re-signed here, kind of dipped my toes in the water and did a stint in the summer, and then did some stuff with Speedball, Mike Bailey and Josh Alexander, and kind of saw what was happening and saw the roster, and that's when TNA kind of got back on my radar personally. I kind of looked around and saw that, wow, something special is happening here, and it was a place that I could see myself being. Since I returned full time in January of 2023, it's been nothing but onward and upward. There's a real excitement in the air, and the cool thing is the fans and the wrestlers know it, and it's been pretty cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the roster there as well, and I think this goes to show you. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of younger talent in there, and I'll get to that in a minute. But when you look at some of the names on the roster now, and you like yourself, like the Nick Nemeths, the Arleys, and the people, the Hardys are in there now, and they seem to be having as much fun as they ever have been. You're seeming to be those type of names just prove that how far TNA not even have come, but the fact that they're in that discussion now with these talents that are coming in and they want to come here just kind of shows you how highly regarded TNA is at the moment.
Right. The TNA's become a destination instead of like maybe in the past it may have been like a stepping stone or a place setter for guys to kind of come reset, for lack of better words, to go elsewhere. That's not necessarily the case. People want to come here. I can't tell you how many people that I've had that I know in the industry that have reached out about wanting to be here or about how fun it looks or how good we're doing. So TNA, rightfully so. We've always been that little engine that could, and this company we've always performed with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, and that hard work is finally paid off. But we're nowhere near where we want to be. We want to take this to the next level and beyond. But it's cool that TNA has finally kind of regained that respect in the industry of a place that people want to come and want to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to go back to that roster now because there's a lot of great names on the roster. There's a lot of great young talent on the roster as well. I always, obviously, being British, Leon Slater will always be high on my regard, and he's obviously doing things now, winning championships. But is there anyone on that roster that perhaps isn't maybe is going about his business or her business, maybe not getting the recognition from, not the company, but recognition from the outside world more than what they should be?
I mean, you mentioned Leon Slater, but he's I think getting the recognition that he deserves. One of the very, very best. Nothing but a ton of respect for that kid. He is going to be a big star and a major player, and it couldn't happen to a nicer human being. You talk about guys kind of like I look at somebody like Jason Hotch, and he's another guy that I certainly think is just loaded with a lot of raw talent and ability. And if he continues to hone his craft and gets a little bit more polish on him, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. His partner, John Skyler, is amazing, awesome, but John's a kind of a veteran. He's been around a long time and really great wrestler. But I think Jason Hotch, guys like Zach Wentz, I think you're going to see a lot from guys like that. And the thing that these guys have in common, in addition to being just good, really good wrestlers, good people, they're coachable, they respect the business. Yeah, I think those off the top of my head, those are two that I think you're going to see and hear some big things from in the next, 6 months to a year to 3 to 5 years.
Definitely. I'll add another. There's a knockout though. Zaya Brookside is another
Oh
one.
yeah, definitely. Definitely same qualities. Great head on her shoulder, coachable, wants to learn, respects this, appreciates it. There's a lot of these younger wrestlers get labeled with this entitlement, that they're entitled, and that may be the case for a lot of them, but for all the young men and women I've just mentioned, that's certainly not the case. They're very grateful for the opportunity to be here and very hungry to get better.
Did you still get the younger talent, Frankie, come to you at the tape and say, "Hey, look, can you just watch this? Can you just watch my match? Can you just give me some advice of maybe what I should do here and should do there?"
Yeah, all the time. I've never been a guy to give unsolicited advice. I know that's kind of a lot of the veterans feel it's their place to just walk up and kind of grab someone and like, "Hey, kid, you should do this and that." That's never been my thing. It never will be. But if somebody asks me specifically for advice or to watch their match, I absolutely will. I will go out of my way. And I always, when I am giving my constructive criticism, will always preface it with, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this has worked for me. Because in pro wrestling, there's more than one way to do something correctly. It's like, this has worked for me. Go talk to Eddie Edwards, another veteran, great, brilliant guy. Something different might work for him. Same could be said for Eric Young. Same could be said for Brian Myers. That doesn't make any of us right or wrong. It's just what's worked for us. So I always tell people, this is what's worked for me. And universally, it's usually around the same thing. But I'm happy. Like I said, I can respect young athletes that are coachable because I think that's a trait that's missing a lot in wrestling and just in life in general.
Yeah, definitely. So we need to talk quickly about the NXT stuff. Obviously, it's going to come up quite a bit. But finally, just a week or two ago, the TNA won back a championship. Ash, who I think, Ash by Elegance, is someone that, again, I spoke a lot about on this particular channel by saying, just because it didn't work over there doesn't mean it's not going to work somewhere else. And she's the epitome of someone that's like, okay, it hasn't worked there, but she's come to TNA. She's reinvented herself. TNA have given her a platform week in, week out to engage with that audience. So that audience kind of A, knows who she is, B, knows what she's like. And she can actually, every single week, there's improvement. And now the improvement for her now is she's now got the target on the back of the Knockouts Championship. But it's someone that has done, that TNA is a prime example of where you can go and recreate your stuff.
Exactly. And she's done an incredible job. Just that act and their presentation and the way she is committed to it, and all involved, Iceman George included. That to your point, that is, talk about reinventing yourself. That is the very definition of that. I can say, a lot of the same things about myself. Where I was previously, certainly wasn't featured. Certainly wasn't anybody that was kind of given time to talk, given time to get myself over anything, given that opportunity here. And I think I've taken the ball and I've ran with it and have scored many touchdowns. So yeah, it's just a matter, a lot of times your environment dictates your success, and TNA gives people the freedom to sink or swim on their own. And in these cases with Ash, myself, and a lot of other people, Mike Santana as well, people have really, really taken that and done the very most with it.
And you've also been out with Ash in Minneapolis this week as well.
Yeah.
How was that?
A lot of media. Good. We've had a lot of, went to a Fox News locally yesterday and talked about the shows. Went to the Minnesota Twins for Chicago White Sox game last night. kind of getting out there and, just getting the word out about TNA coming up tomorrow and a TV taping on Friday. It's been fun. I haven't been in Minnesota in a while, so it's cool to experience the city and be downtown and get out and meet the people. It's been great.
Excellent. And we're going to start to wrap it up in a minute. But before we do, Bound for Glory is coming up as well, October the 12th. Now, only one match has been announced, but I kind of want to throw a curveball in that match and give you another match and see what you think. Obviously, the Hardys and the Dudleys, two of the most decorated tag teams in the world, are coming together. But I want to make it a fatal four-way, Frankie. Again, me putting my booking head on here. And you think you're going to have four of the best teams, right? So I picked the Hardys versus the Dudleys versus the Machine Guns versus Bad Influence. How would you feel about that?
Oof. That's, that obviously I've nothing but respect for all the gentlemen you just mentioned. Matt and Jeff, I've been friends with those guys for many years. The same thing you said with Bully and Devon. Those are all guys that early in my career helped me and were very giving with their time and with their energy. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, I've known for over 2 decades. I've had wars with those guys. And again, very few I respect more than those two gentlemen. And my partner, Christopher Daniels, he's been a best friend, a mentor, a partner. We've traveled the world together. That would be amazing. I think we've probably had matches with all those teams, one-on-one, but never like a four-way type match. If we're talking fantasy booking, I would definitely, if I was a fan, I would be front row for that one.
Yeah, me too. I would love to do that. Last question before we start wrapping up. I think, look, you've had that big storied career. Right now, you're probably doing some of the most fun work I've seen under the King of TNA gimmick. But right now, it seems like, you with Jake something was the last thing that you've done, and Jake has had the bit of a battle with Macklin for the International Championship. Is that the route that you're going down, or are you fancying taking a trip over and maybe nicking a title from NXT to sort of give it a bit of a, hey, we want one of your titles over here now?
Look, and I've said since I started back at TNA in January of 2023 that my objective and my main goal was the TNA World Title, and that's still very much the case. On my road there, if that international title presents itself and there's an opportunity, I'm definitely going to take it. If any NXT title presents itself and that's an opportunity, I'm going to take it. But those are just obstacles, and those are just more stones I'm going to claim for my gauntlet that ultimately is going to be the TNA World Title. But yeah, that's my goal. Sure, I'm not going to not take an opportunity to take the belt off of Macklin for that initial title. If an NXT champion was put in my place, I would mow him down too. That's the MO. But that light at the end of the tunnel is that TNA World Title, and that's my focus.
We'll see if you get there. As we're going to wrap it up now. Don't forget, Impact is live. TNA Plus app tomorrow at time of recording. Things are going on this week. Nick Nemeth's coming back this week from his second or third suspension. We're going to have an elegance party as Ash will be celebrating her Knockouts Championship victory. But on the side to that, there is going to be a triple threat match to determine Ash's next contender. That is Indy Hartwell, that is Jody Fret, and the new and maybe improved Danny Luna. We'll have to wait and see on that. Joe Hendry, after being cleansed by EY last week, returns to the Impact Zone. We'll see what he's got to say. And, of course, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, will be teaming with Myra Slade, assuming she's managed to get her head knocked back off her shoulders after last week being attacked by Order 4. And the Great Hands and Tasha Steeles will be their opponents. But, Frankie, it's been great talking to you. We can't wait to see you at Bound for Glory and at Victory Road on TNA Plus, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Everybody, TNA Plus for TNA Impact, Victory Road, and Bound for Glory. And until next time, everybody, cross the line, stay safe, and goodbye.